They look good against competition.
Well,
sure.
I believe Blaney, I think he drove a perfect race. He didn't run it hard in the corner, but from the center of the corner off,
He could really go, yeah.
He beat that 21 car.
You know, I like to see a race like yesterday because the cars that really run good, it paid off for them. It wasn't no strategy. The tires were not wearing that bad, and you didn't have to worry about the gas mileage. It was a pure race. All right, man, what do you think? I think that, watch the race and stuff, and the last 2 or 3 races has been Toyotas has really dominated the deal. And it looked like the Ford come alive this weekend.
Well,
I don't know why, but they did.
Well, I can't figure out why they were that good and maybe the rest of them that bad.
They look good against competition.
Well,
sure.
Richard, I think the race was decided Saturday during practice. I think the 12 car just kind of had everybody covered in.
According to what I watched on my computer and stuff, then he was the dominant car as far as long run deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he just kept his speed up there, so you knew he was going to be good.
And he drove it to perfection too, Richard. I mean,
but the 21 was the one that really showed up. But he's been having all kinds of bad luck. Every time he gets to running, somebody spins him out. But the deal was he ran a good race. At last there, I think that the 12 car was a dominant car, and no matter, even if the 21 would have had new tires, I don't think he would have been able to do anything with him.
You know, you bring that up. I believe Blaney, I think he drove a perfect race. He didn't run it hard in the corner, but from the center of the corner off,
he could really go, yeah.
He beat that 21 car, and the 21 car had to drive in deep. But the 21, just think about it, he got spun out, Richard, and didn't nobody hit him, and then come back to run second. So that was an awful good car, too.
Yeah, he was probably the second best car. So,
yeah.
You know, I like to see a race like yesterday because the cars that really run good, it paid off for them. It wasn't no strategy. The tires were not wearing that bad, but they wore some. And so the tires wasn't really the problem, and you didn't have to worry about the gas mileage. So it was a deal it was a pure race when I look at it from my standpoint.
Okay, Blaney's locked in for the final 12, and if he gets in...
Final 8, right?
Is he in the final 8? It's, okay, I'm off some. But if he gets in the final 4 and goes to Phoenix, and Phoenix is a little bit like that track yesterday, I'd hate to bet against him.
Well,
but
he's always run good at Phoenix.
And the 22 has too, so they got and.
But that don't mean they'll run good going back. That's what really blows my mind. The guys has got the setup, and again, yesterday they knew where the tires were. Okay, they didn't come with some trick tires different than what they had.
Yeah,
so they could go back to their notes and say, okay, this is what the tires did, how long they'll last, and were able then to set their car up accordingly. When they come in with some new tires every race, like we said last week, they screw everything up, and the drivers and the crew chiefs don't know really, where the tires going to end up.
One thing I seen Saturday in practice, Richard, I forget which car it was, but they zoomed in on the left rear, how it was wrinkled and everything, low air pressure, in practice. And I was real surprised that somebody didn't fail the left rear from working the sidewall too much.
Yeah, but even with working it don't build up the heat and stuff that the right side tires do. So from that standpoint, that's probably what saves it.
Well, it might, and maybe they seen something and went up on air pressure. But boy, it was wrinkled like Martinsville and running a lot faster. So. The 19 car, one time he come in and everybody put on 4 and he put on 2 and went out, and he stayed up there longer than I thought he would in that stage, but the first Toyota was
sixth.
Yeah. And
he just ran regular. I don't think
he didn't do nothing
really
fancy.
Went spectacular. So again, the Toyotas really missed the boat from where they were the last 3 weeks, and the Chevrolets are sort of in between. They've been holding out. They're second best both ways, both places. And like I say, the Fords just dominated the Chevrolets and the Toyotas yesterday.
Me and you didn't go. We watched it on television, but I guess they had a sellout crowd up there. And
it looked like they had a really good crowd. Yeah.
But
and I think they've seen a pretty decent race from my standpoint anyway.
Yeah, and I guess it was a mile track, but just watching it on television, it looked like a big track, didn't it? I mean, it didn't have the banking of a mile and a half or nothing like that.
But imagine when you're driving on it, it's not that big a racetrack there.
No, and
there's a lot of corner there.
And they're shifting gears. I mean, so they bound to drive. I mean, it's easy to drive them. You just don't know where they're going sometimes, I guess. But they spend half their time on changing gears, and
hopefully they can eliminate that, changing the gears and stuff. Again, there's two different ways they could go at it. A little bit more horsepower probably would help the deal, or they could give them a different gear ratio where they wouldn't be able to change gears. But right now, that's the way this new car and the way NASCAR's got it. That is a necessity, and that's the only way they can run unless they just outlawed shifting altogether, and that'd really bog them down.
But you bring that up, Richard, but doing all this shifting and everything, you very seldom hear of transmission failure and rear end failure. And we had that constantly back in the day, but
that's all one unit.
I get that, but still yet,
with both of them together, we used to have rear end trouble. Then we have transmission trouble. They got them all put together now. Look like they'd have that much more trouble. And they're pretty foolproof.
That's what I don't think I've heard anybody
turn out a transmission or a rear end since they started this new deal.
Yeah, it's unreal. And I guess if I had to say the weakest thing on this car would be the steering, the rack and pinion steering.
I think that probably gives people more trouble than anything.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
From time to time it works, sometimes it don't work and stuff. But probably the weakest link that I see when the people are running is they break that bar in the back on the right rear. When they hit anything, it pops that dude. But the way they've got it fixed, if they can get in there, they can put another one on at the same link, and everything's okay.
I bet they practice that like practicing pit stops.
Yeah, right. Like changing tires.
But it was a, boy.
And really, I didn't see a lot of mess-ups in the pit area. Looked like it was pretty clean for a change.
Well, they had 2 or 3 gas cans to hang because they're just putting on 2 tires, and that's a lot quicker. And but it was a extremely clean pit road day, I guess I'm trying to say.
Compared to what we've been having.
Compared to what we've been going. But all in all, it was a mile racetrack and had a good crowd, and I guess it was somewhat of a pretty good race, Richard.
Well, I'm going to say from my standpoint, from the racing standpoint, and drivers, crew and stuff, they had what they had. And strategy really did not change a lot of the situations. So, again, the cars that run the best finish the best. And if they run the worst, they finish the worst.
But I thought this was interesting on the 12 car. He was leading a race, and late stage, I think with about maybe 60 laps to go or 68 laps to go or something, he come in and put 2 right side tires on, and he got back out right in front of Joey Logano, who was leading the race in, so he didn't lose a lap, and I thought that was pretty neat because they figure how long they're going to sit still and what it takes on. I mean, they figure so much more stuff than we.
It takes longer getting in and out than it does sitting still.
Yeah, and they only put on 2 tires, and after that it was pretty well over, and it was just a big day for the Penske cars.
I give the boy in the 12 car a lot of credit. Even after he got spun out and stuff, they didn't panic.
You mean the 21 car?
21 car. They had a good car, and the boy drove a good race for what he had to work with.
Yeah, but he was the second best car is what he had to work with.
Yeah, I know, but he had to overcome some difficulties where the 12 car really never got in any trouble.
But, Logano, now that's his type racetrack too. But he might have used himself up a little bit, Richard, and because the
Chevrolet, really Chevrolet even though he led a bunch of the race and stuff, his car really wasn't that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was 4th or 5th place car.
Yep.
And I guess that's where he wound up.
I believe in Kansas they'll have a pretty good Ford or two, a pretty good Chevrolet or two, and
a couple of good Toyotas. Yeah.
I believe this will be more mixed up than a dominated manufacturer on a racetrack.
The way it is right now, we're just going to have to wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
I guess we never had that trouble, but if I'm like what the coach said, it's between the drivers. It's not the crew chiefs or even the owner from that standpoint. I guess the owner could get on the driver for knocking another one of them out, but the big deal is, what was both of those cars, what were they thinking when that happened? And it was one of the deals where that I don't know that the 11 car really meant to spin him out. He just meant to take up a lot of room and get by him. But teammates on that deal, the 54-45. What's the number?
54.
54 should have let the guy go. Should have let the 11 go because the 11's in the running for the championship, and he was outrunning him anyway. So I think I'm probably blaming the driver as much as anything.
Yeah, it makes it makes for a long day on Monday or ever when they come in and go to work, I guess. But the drivers have to do it. But like Richard said, the 11 car's running for the championship, and the 54's running to win a race, and it just happened.
The way they're running right now, that third charter might help. I don't know, because it might give the other two a chance to get a third opinion might help. But if they don't get their stuff together, then the third team's going to probably hurt them more than it's going to help them. Yeah.
When me and Richard go to the shop in Statesville every week, they'll be working. They'll be the body people and the motor people putting the motors in and all that. They'll be a couple of races ahead of what they just run. So if they get a good driver and a good crew and all that, it could be a positive.
That's going to be a toss-up. The Chevrolets in the playoffs so far have not really dominated anything, but they've been right there on the verge. So it's going to come down to, who gets the breaks and who doesn't get the breaks.
I'm going to give it to Penske, because the last race and the determining factor is who's got the best finish. Out of the Final Four, who's got the best finish at Phoenix, and the Fords was the dominant cars yesterday, and I think the two tracks are somewhat alike.
A favorite part of a race, I don't know. I guess the favorite part is finding out who's going to win the race, because you sit there and you watch all the strategy and you watch them run, and you say, is this car going to win or that car's going to win? So the most exciting deal, I guess, is the last lap, see how good you finish.
I thought when the 12 car pitted while leading the race, changed two tires, and got back out in front of the leader, who was Joey Logano at that time, I thought there was a lot of strategy to get that done. If the caution had come out right after he pitted, he would not have been a lap down. So I thought, that was really good.